just gonna try and sign in here so I can see the comments.
Every corner, man, there are.
It's not it. Hey guys, good morning. I'm doing this again. As I said. Hail Birdie Schoolie. Hi Sue. I'm sitting in front of Cabela's right now. I'm going up island, so I'm looking for. I'm gonna go and look at some fishing gear actually. Well, let's see. I'm just gonna try to find my live here so I can go into the comments. Hey Sandy. Hey Laura. Glenn. Good morning everybody. Feel like I just did this a couple days ago, but here we are again. There we go. There we go. I got it now. All right. Good morning, guys. I was just pulling out my comments on my laptop because I can see all the comments better than it shows up on my phone. And yeah, so basically I'm on the road. I was trying to get a video edited last night, and I didn't want to pull another all-nighter because that last video I did, I was up till 5 a.m. editing that one. And well, I didn't want to do that again. Anyway, man, I love this new counter. This is great. Look at that. You can see a new perspective of the van. Anyway, I'll try to give you a little bit of the back of the van there. Yeah, okay, Sue Peters, you have the same van and you're wondering if it's large enough for 2 people asleep. I would say, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of couples that do camping trips and stuff like that in real basic, simple builds in Dodge Grand Caravans and sleep 2 people, no problem. I'd say, yeah, I mean, in this van, the way it's set up, 2 people would be okay in it. It'd be a little bit, small on the inside, but we could, I don't know, I could have somebody in here for a little while anyway, but for me, I'd probably want my own space after a while. Jeff, thanks for the super chat, buddy. What is the best tasting animal you've ever ate? Oh, okay. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I think my best tasting animal was the very first deer that I got. It was that was probably the most tasty animal. I ate that deer almost entirely in 2 months. It was so good, but I ate a lot of meat when I got that deer. I couldn't get enough of it, but that was pretty good. And then I had to slow down because I realized afterwards, I was like, oh, I got to make this last for a little while. But it was a pretty tasty animal. Thanks for the super sticker, Cat G. It's going pretty good. I'm just, I'm on my way up so I've been in Victoria, as some of you guys know from my last live stream. And if you haven't seen that one, then maybe you know. And I've been down in Victoria for a little while working on Nick's van. So it's a Sprinter van. He's got a 4x4, and I've just been doing the electrical installation on his van. So far that's gone really well, except for the part that I wasn't able to quite hook it up to the Sprinter, so I need to meet up with him again to hook it into his electrical system. I did a lot of research on it. I don't think there's going to be any issues, but there could be. In the sense that his alternator might not be able to keep up with the 50 amp MPPT and charger in the back, the DC to DC. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, though, I got all the main stuff done, and it's the best job I've ever done on an electrical system. It's super clean. There was a few changes to the basic layout that I made, and it's going to change the way I do ones in the future as well. So that's kind of that. Anyway, I am heading up to Campbell River right now, so I'm in Nanaimo, and check it out right behind me is Cabela's. I'm waiting for these guys to open. I'm looking at a spinning rod for some shore fishing for salmon and stuff like that, so I'm gonna see what they got in there, but I'm not gonna buy anything today. I just want to scope things out. And then I'm going up to Campbell River to see my cousin on Quadra and look at his shack and do an electrical job up there. So that's that. Kim Jones, thanks for the super sticker. Hey Kim, this coffee's on you, by the way. Thank you so much, Kim. Kim sent me a Tim Hortons gift card, so I bought my coffee with her gift card this morning. Kim, you rock, and yeah, good to see you in here for sure. Really love this this Tim coffee this morning, that's for sure. And Frederick Anderson, hey man, you sent me a super chat too. SEK, I'm not sure what that is, but I guess that's probably about 20 bucks or so. Dude, thank you so much, man. You're helping me fuel my tank. Both of you guys are helping me fuel my tank. All of you are. So it's paying my little trip to go up island here and do all this stuff. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Have you gone to the cabin yet? Oh, Laura, you're asking me if I've gone to the cabin yet. Not yet, Laura. I'm on my way there, so I'll be there this afternoon. I've seen pictures of it and stuff. It's a pretty kind of cobbled together electrical job up there, so I'm hoping I can sort all that out for Steven. And it'd be cool to do a collaboration video of some type with a solar company or something like that. I've got an idea in mind. I won't talk about it any further than that, but maybe I can help some other local business out as well with a video or something like that, I'm thinking, but we'll see. And it's a little bit off the beaten path, like, because it's not really van life, but it is electrical, and it's not like the channel needs to be all van life all the time, but off-grid cabin electrical, you know, it's not that different from van. Anyway, let's see, what else we got in here? Sunday morning. You gotta, Dutch fly fisher, you gotta love Cabela's. Always visit the one in Edmonton when I'm in Canada. Yeah, it's kind of like a big fishing hunting store, and it's just kind of like, it's got a whole bunch of really neat things in it, and it's pretty fun to, I can spend hours in that store just looking at stuff. And I've done that too. But yeah, I do like that store for sure. I also like some of the smaller outfitter stores as well, and I find I sometimes buy more stuff from the smaller stores, I would say, than Cabela's. I haven't spent a lot of money on Cabela's, but I buy the odd little thing in there, a couple fishing lures and stuff like that. Yeah, Kim Jones, you're fueling me in my home. You are for sure. Thank you so much. You're helping me get along. I'm looking forward to getting out into nature and getting into another sort of like backcountry, a beautiful location, and do another film similar to the last video that I did. I really enjoyed that one in the edit, and that was a lovely day up there at San Joseph Bay. I've got a few other spots that I'd like to check out for sure and film. So that'll be coming up. And I gotta film my van tour, so I'm probably gonna do that next week, right after I do this electrical stuff. Denise, my favorite deer backstrap. The area hunted was an area with rich people who had the greatest landscape. The deer population was 140 square mile. Bucks Country, Pennsylvania, USA. That's a lot of deer in one area. I guess you're kind of in whitetail area, whitetail deer. Sounds like it anyway. That's quite a few deer in one square mile. someone here. Sunday Chamberlain. Joseph, how do you know so much about plants? So Sunday, basically what I did with that was I I got pretty interested in learning what food was available on the land itself, in particular wild foods. And at the time that I was really kind of keenly getting interested, I was living in Calgary, Alberta, actually. And there was some local plants and stuff like that. There wasn't a whole lot, and it was pretty dry there in the summertime, kind of like it is right now, where a lot of these things would dry up. But I knew that there was part of me that wanted to come out to the coast and learn more about it out here. It's sort of dragging the story out, but essentially, when I got out here, I started picking up books on wild edibles, and then I got into looking online and learning about it through other people that are out there picking it, watching other YouTube videos and such like that. But a lot of it was just reading, and also going out and like carefully identifying a new plant. And how I did it was, you know, like a dandelion was pretty safe. I'd be like, okay, there's not much I can mix this up with, so I'd go out and I would eat some dandelion, and I'd be like, okay, well, a little bit of that is fine, and I felt pretty confident with that. But when it came to a brand new plant that I've never eaten before, I would have a little bit of it, even though like I'd research it and I would be like, okay, this one seems pretty legit. There's nothing I need to worry about. You know, it doesn't have anything in it that's, you know, that I need to moderate my eating on. But I'd nibble on it a little bit, and then the next time I'd be out, I'd nibble on a little bit more, I'd eat a little bit more, and I'd just slowly integrate a little bit more of the plant into my diet. And then eventually I felt really confident with that plant, and then I would just start adding a whole bunch of it to my salads and stuff like that. And then it would be kind of like a go-to. And that's my approach to it. So when I have a new plant, I just nibble a little bit of it, and I just sort of see, you know, how does my mouth feel after it? How does my body feel after that? And then just kind of go from there. So start small and work your way up. Heather Olan, last video rocked big time. It was breathtaking. Wish I could travel out there. For sure. That was pretty amazing video, the last one. Yeah, it was really nice. I really liked that place up there, San Joseph Bay, and it was really fun to film it. It was just kind of in my element, and I loved it, for sure. I can't wait to get out and share some more. There's definitely some more spots, maybe not quite like that, but some other spots that I want to share, for sure, and go explore. Let's see. Robert Curran, thank you for the super chat, brother. Wow, man. Your last video was awesome on the trail. You have the best van built. Wish I can fly you to Hawaii to build me out a van. Well, I mean, you know, there are wishes that sometimes could come true, but Hawaii would be a pretty cool place to visit. But whenever I get into a van build, just like working on this electrical build that I was doing on Nick's van, I find I get really quite involved with it, and then I don't get as much time to put into YouTube and the channel and working on videos that I've filmed and edited. So there's a bit of reservation behind taking on other projects and stuff. But I don't know. If you're really serious about it and you want to talk about it in one way, you could send me an email. We could maybe explore it a bit, but yeah. I'll leave it just at that and move on. Thanks, Robert. Really appreciate it, and I appreciate the comment on the last video. It was a pretty special video for me, for sure. Yeah. See what else is. Mike Luft, have you ever eaten porcupine? No, I haven't eaten a porcupine, Mike. I haven't seen one in a long time. I don't think I would really hunt a porcupine. But, yeah. Yeah. Robert, that was a pretty awesome super chat. $100, man. You just filled my gas tank up for sure, man. I'm so stoked about that. I gotta get gas here soon too. I've been driving. I'm driving up to Campbell River, so it's gonna take me a little bit of fuel in my tank to get up there, and I gotta put some new tires on my van here soon. So all this little extra bit is really helping me out. Yeah, new tires. Got to do a rear brake job. You guys know what it's like. You have stuff in your life that you gotta constantly work at and improve and stuff. Let's see. Just reading through some questions here, guys. I'm trying to find something. Looks like some of you guys are having a chat amongst each other about some storm somewhere. I guess there's a hurricane somewhere that I'm not aware of. But, man, climate change. I mean, all these fires and wildfires, it's really been making me think about all that stuff, and it's pretty dry as well. And it's difficult to say how it all, you know, how it all comes around like that. I know there's a lot of scientists that are working pretty hard at figuring this stuff out. It's a lot of info to go over, a lot of data to crunch. Yeah. Jeff. I have failed at every romantic relationship in my life. So Jeff, you sent me a super chat here. I'm just going to read it out. I failed at every romantic relationship in my life so far because I failed to open up emotionally and express my love. How can I fix and overcome this? Well, I guess I think when it comes to relationships, Jeff, I always feel like the most important one to kind of cultivate first and master is the one you have with yourself. And it's, you could kind of ask that question, how can I emotionally express your love for yourself and stuff? And I don't exactly know you and know where you're coming from and all that sort of thing. And so I could make all kinds of projections on what might work and what might not work. But I would just say, like, probably a really good piece of advice would be, you know, if whenever I've met someone, and especially myself, whenever I've had a difficult time expressing an emotion or opening up, usually it's because there's something inside that I'm protecting, you know, and it's either a way that I think about myself, like I might, you know, like for sure I felt, you know, I went through whole challenges where I didn't feel good enough, and I didn't feel like I was, you know, always loved enough, and you know, it's nothing to say that about any one person in particular. It's just these are questions and feelings that I had to overcome later as an adult and sort of figure out where they're coming from. But I know a lot of men struggle with that one where it's like not feeling good enough, and there's a lot of systemic problems with how I suppose men are raised, sons are raised, that end up kind of developing that, and I see that in a lot of men where they don't feel good enough, and it's really too bad. But overcoming that is like looking at where that really came from to begin with, and oftentimes it's getting some sort of approval when you're a one child. You're in an emotional relationship at that point in your life. Let's say you're between the ages of 0 and 7 or so. Mostly it's your emotional brain that's really developed at that point. You haven't quite got the like the rational capacity to understand what's going on in relationships. So when someone's like denying you something, you know, if you need to do this, or if you want to get this, I don't know, this new bike, you have to do this. So we end up developing these strange behaviors back then where we're trying to gain the approval of our parents usually, or close relatives, sometimes friends in school, teachers, that sort of thing. And we end up kind of going away from our authenticity and doing something that's like just we kind of act it out. We find this way of acting. We wear a mask. Either we're kind of defensive in some situations, or we pretend we're more happier than we're not, or we completely block people out, and we don't let people see us really. But people see all that anyway. It's just it's, I guess it's becoming true with yourself and really like looking at those elements. And I'm not doing a great job of explaining this right now, but looking at those behaviors. And the best way to do it is whenever you feel anxious about something, anything at all, usually there's kind of an automatic behavior that comes into play in those moments. So if you're in a situation out in the world and all of a sudden you feel really anxious, you might not even realize you feel anxious. It's just discomfort. You start to act differently, like you almost go into an autopilot. And you fall out of authenticity with yourself. And the more you do that, you don't really allow yourself to be in relationship with yourself all that much. So becoming true with where you're at in life, taking responsibility, is probably the best advice I could give. And I would say, if you find a men's group or something like that, go out and find that, because you'll find more supportive information to keep you going on that journey if you want to check it out. That can be really helpful. And there's women's group out there too for all the women on the channel as well. So there's a lot of support out there for relationships and understanding all that stuff. Anyway, relationship with yourself is important. So I'm going to move on from that because I see a lot of other comments coming in, and I don't know if it's, the same topic, but we'll see. David, sure. Interesting how van life and a more seclusive life can make you sound and think in a philosophical way. Must be something to it. Yeah, Joseph and Chrome both exhibit this. I think, David, I don't think I can really attribute that to van life. I would say that's more just, Chrome's got a pretty interesting story. A lot of people have very interesting stories, and it's just the way he's thought about the stuff that he's gone through, and the way I've thought about stuff that I've gone through. I think it's taken years to kind of develop this kind of outlook. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. I might skip over a few things. I'm going to try to catch up with a few things here. Robert, if you're still there, man, and you're still listening, and you want to talk about that, just send me an email. My email's in my video, and then we'll go from there. But I don't know where you're coming from, and I don't know anything about you, but if you want to chat about anything like that and you're serious, just send me an email. Faith T, hi, happy Sunday. Thank you for sharing your story. We are a lot alike, coming from a very abusive upbringing and was in a marriage of abuse. PTSD, strong at times. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Yeah, because I think what you're talking about is like we relate a lot when we see other people going through similar challenges than we have. I can't say mine was similar. Like I didn't have an abusive upbringing, but it's interesting to see what things cause certain behaviors and triggers and stuff in us and that sort of stuff. And but I've I mean we all go through some struggles, and it's all different. I don't really it's a tough thing sometimes. So just being in a good relationship with yourself is the best thing I could say, is just learning how to do that. And I can talk more about that later. Dave A, thanks for the super chat. Joseph, are you still doing the keto thing? If so, how is it going for you? Hi Dave. Yeah, so I am doing the keto thing still. Although I've had a few beers since I've done it, and that it's kind of, I know that's not keto, so I'm falling out of it. but that's been very occasional. And so far, I got on the scale this morning after being on the shower. I've lost 30 pounds since I started. So right now I'm at 220. So I'm doing pretty good. There was a moment there where I crested at 250 right before I got on keto, and I was like, holy smokes, man. I put on the weight. But I'm feeling really good about everything, so. Let's see. Yeah, PTSD sucks big time. Yeah. And we can get that from just about any kind of situation too. You don't have to go to war to get that. You can just be in a really, something that's just shaking you up a lot, and you can develop it from that. Sorry guys, I'm just reading some of your stuff here. Beth, thank you for sharing your mindful walks in nature. Thanks, Beth. Yeah, I'm hoping to share a lot more of that stuff. There's this beautiful forest I want to get to. I'm not sure when I'll get to it, but I really am looking forward to going there and filming it. I went there years ago, and it's just incredible. So that'd be great to get in there and film that for sure. Share that with you guys. There's some amazing trees in there. It's just super breathtaking, really magical. David Sacher, or Scher. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, David, but sure, I almost want to say. He says, agreed. My point being that as you spend time with yourself, you learn to love yourself more and have that understanding that you have to love you first before a healthy relationship with someone. Yeah, it's true. I think I owe a lot of that to my mom. My mom was super encouraging. She was wonderful. So she was she was always encouraging me to be myself, and I think that was one of the best gifts she could have given me in life, and that really sort of built that foundation and that understanding. And I'd say I really owe a lot of that to her in terms of that understanding. And of course, then going through life too, and having all the reaffirmations with other experience and stuff that just make that true. And of course, you understand that it's very important to have that solid relationship with yourself. Once you do that, then you can start to do things for other people. And it's important to be honest with yourself too. And if you're doing some behavior that maybe is got something to do with like using drugs or something like that, or drinking alcohol, to really what you're doing is a type of therapy towards something that you're uncomfortable with, and the behavior of that activity is just, in a way, it's an anxiety binding behavior, so it just kind of keeps you in that loop. Something uncomfortable comes up, let's say, and you go and you do that thing that makes you feel better about everything. It never allows you to really fully deal with it and integrate what's going on. So you kind of have to face the suffering, if you will, and work through it. And I don't recommend doing it on your own, but certainly having a support group of people that maybe you're doing the same thing, but approaching it from the standpoint of looking at integrating what it is that you're not willing to integrate. And that can take a lot of courage and a lot of strength. And it's no easy task, but it's so liberating when you do that, for sure. Yeah, it liberates your life. There's more oxygen in your lungs. Your heart becomes bigger and more open. It's a pretty great thing to do that. I'm almost tearing up a little bit because it's pretty powerful. Okay, Jackie. Oh, how did you meet Emmy? You did a beautiful job on her electrical. Jackie, I met Emmy pretty well, like in Squamish. What I was doing is, before I moved into a van, I lived in Squamish, so that place kind of felt like home to me. And I was doing a lot of my work down in Vancouver, and whenever I needed a break from the city, I'd go to Squamish and I'd hang out there. And I often slept at the Walmart parking lot. And at that time, Emmy's van was kind of like, it sort of stood out, and it was common. I always saw it there, and I don't know, I just noticed it, and I noticed that every now and then she got out and she walked her cat and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So one day I said hi, and then we chatted, and I think we would wave and stuff like that at each other long before we even talked to each other, and then I just said hi, and then that was it. At that time, I think Jeff and I think Chrome were in Squamish at the same time, so they said hi as well, and then I think the next day she had a van tour with Chrome. And then after that, we just started hanging out and doing stuff together. So that's how that came around. Patty Dad, just look for a low carb beer. She's talking about doing keto. I don't even know if that exists, Patty. I think beer is like drinking a glass of juice almost, but I could drink. When I was at Nick's place, he made me a couple gin tonics, just soda water, a little bit of like a wedge of lemon, and then some gin, and that was nice. And that technically, I guess that's keto, but I know that still means something for my liver to process and stuff. But it was nice. It was a long day at work, and Nick comes out and he gives me one of those. And I was just like, oh, buddy, thanks, man. That's great. It was nice to finish the day up like that. And his van's looking really good. He's got more cabinetry to build, so I'll be meeting up with him a little bit later to finish that up. But yeah, it's really coming along, and that's the best electrical job I've ever done. I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you guys and talking about it, even though I know a lot of that stuff is not for everybody, but some of you out there will probably be interested in that. Let's see. Alberta Schoolie Adventures. Have you been to Haida Gwaii? I have in Alberta Schoolie Adventures. I've been looking at that clump of land for probably a good 30 years and wanting to go there. I want to go visit it for sure. I love to go there and be able to spend some time there. The fishing, the hunting, everything. That's the one place in BC. Not that this is really a selling factor of the place, but they've got so many deer on that island. Really small Sitka deer. Like, they're about the size of a German Shepherd, maybe just a bit bigger. They're not very big at all. But according to the hunting synopsis, you can go there and harvest up to 10 of those guys, and it's completely legit. People go up there and they do just that. Now, you can't harvest 10 in one day, but you can harvest 10 over the whole year, and I think the season is open up a lot. Like, it's not a short window. I think it's a really big window for that. But I don't know, it'd be great to go up there and get maybe one or two or something like that, but do yeah. And I'm thinking about deer meat again. I've been buying my meat in the grocery stores now for a little while, and I really miss wild meat. It's really much better in my opinion. Celine Godard, where did you get your yoga certification? So that's a cool question, because no one's ever asked me that before. So I got mine through the company that I was doing all my yoga facilities and management work for, and they're called Y Yoga. They have their own teachers college, and I did it through them. The person leading the program at the time, her name is Rachel Scott. She is an awesome yoga teacher trainer. I can't, if you're interested in meeting someone that's just an absolute genius when it comes to yoga, she is just fantastic. And she really gets into the anatomy of it, the skeletal variation, which is kind of a technical term. I'll kind of break that one down for you. every human being is built differently. Our finger joints, our elbow joints, all our skeletal system is completely different from one person to another. And so one person, when they bend their arm, they're going to have a, a certain flexion that's going on in their arm, and the next person is going to be different. And a teacher that can really understand that can cue individual people based on like the natural way that their joint is going to bend. And she's pretty good at being able to get in there and figure out where your knee really wants to bend, and whether it's bending out of alignment because there's an imbalance in the musculature, or if it's because the bones actually want to go that way. She's pretty big nerd when it comes to yoga. But anyway, she did my 200 and my 500 yoga teacher training with her. So that's 200 hours and 500 hours. And then I did hot yoga training, which was another 70 hours, and then yin, which was another 70. A lot of it was done through those guys. And that was years ago. That was probably like 4 years ago when I did all that. Maybe 5. So what year caravan would you, Celine Godard, what year, so same person, what year caravan would you buy to convert? Thank you for your videos. I was also experiencing anxiety you find your videos soothing. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Celine. Yeah, my caravan's a 2005. I wouldn't really buy one per se. I don't know, after having built out a minivan, I wouldn't want to build out another minivan. I've been in like Econolines and Sprinter vans, and I kind of approach it from my own angle, and that's from a building perspective, and I want something that's easier to build out. But yeah, I couldn't tell you. I just do the research and sort of figure out what year makes the most sense to buy. Okay. Life on the streets. Hey, life on the streets. Does racism happen in Canada? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does, man. I've seen it. Racism is like, it's really interesting because that's been generationally passed along for a long, long time. And, I think there's almost like a justification that someone would make in their own mentality as to why they might behave in a racist manner, based on their own historical heritage and what they've gone through in their family system, I suppose. Of course, that doesn't mean any of that's right. It's just, but it's interesting. I think it's there's like almost like an inertia behind it, and it might be one of those things that's kind of difficult to shake off. At least it appears that way, and certainly you can see some individuals. It's really hard to shake that kind of behavior off, even though it's wrong. But I think more people are becoming aware of it, for sure. And well, let's just put it this way: it's not very sexy to be racist. That's one way to look at it. And I thought of that when I was quite a bit younger. It's like, is that a sexy thing to do? No, it's not. Of course, it's not a nice thing to do either. So you can look at it different ways. It's not nice. It's not friendly. But it's interesting to ask those questions about it. Like, so if you're out there and you've got you recognize, like, maybe is this racist? Like, what's the background of that? Like, there's so many questions to ask about it. Am I being this way because I just have this judgment about, this person because they look like this? And it's such a, I mean, you could just, any sort of grouping people together and sort of making generalist comments, I think is inappropriate in a sense. Like, unless you use it in the right context and with discretion. Yeah. Drivers of Ottawa, life on the streets. Yeah, there are idiots everywhere. Yeah, there are. Life is busy, and I think, like, someone being an idiot is like, there, there's there's so much thrown at any one person that it's difficult to disseminate what is important to use for your own life and who your association is and what they're doing too. And we often are with who, the same as people that we associate with. We're very similar. We relate with one another. We gravitate towards people that we relate to. And so in a way we can kind of get stuck in that, and maybe not really grow outside of that so much, especially with a circle of friends. So having diversification is always good. Patty Dad, Joseph, I found one. Patty Dad's looking for a low carb beer for me. Molson Ultra is Canada's and the world's first and only regular strength beer with low carbs. 2.5 grams of carbs. Huh. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really a Molson fan. I'd give the beer a taste and try it out and stuff like that. My favorite beer is like a hazy IPA, like something that looks like an orange juice. It's got a nice hoppy flavor to it. Akui 1. Hello from south of the equator. It's almost midnight here, and I'm glad I'm still up to catch you live for the first time. Any immediate plans to visit your daughter in Bali? Soon, question mark, hugs, hate. I don't have any immediate plans to visit her. It's definitely something that I want to do. It's probably the biggest priority for me in terms of like it's hunting season starts here in a couple weeks, and normally that's like the biggest deal for me. I'm just like, I, everything else kind of goes to the wayside, and it's like, let's go hunting. But this year, I miss my daughter, and she's over there, and I'm thinking I might be going over there mid-season to visit her and actually spending some time over there. So this hunting season might be, I don't know, I might not get out very much. She's priority over that, and I mean, it'd be nice if it lined up differently, but I miss her and I'd love to go see her. So I don't know. I'm going to be looking into it and chatting with her mom about it. It's kind of complicated with the international travel, the new strain outbreaks with COVID and the restrictions, and there's a lot of like details to work out, and I haven't really had a lot of time to get into it so much. But I'm going to look into it shortly with her mom, and we're going to make a plan because I'd love to go see her. And it'd be a pretty fun trip. It'd be really cool to go over there and see some new part of the world and film that. Akui 1 again. By the way, I'm also impressed that you can sew. Where did you pick up that awesome skill? Alright, so I'll tell you a bit about my sewing story. I was in Calgary at the time. Basically, I got into fashion a little bit, and I was trying to find men's clothing that I really liked. And at the time, I just drew this conclusion that when I'd go into these clothing stores, the women had so much more selection and variety in their clothing, and I was almost jealous and envious of that. Whereas all the men's section was like black and gray and navy blue, and everything was pretty well fit the exact same no matter what store you went to, unless you were buying outdoor technical gear, which was pretty expensive and stuff, and there wasn't really any cool fashion stuff or anything that was really interesting. Every now and then I'd find something, but I had to look high and low for it, and then it was also getting things that fit. My arms are actually really long, In the climbing community, we'd call that positive ape index, which would give me the advantage of having a longer reach to grab onto different holds when I was climbing that were further away. But a lot of long sleeve shirts, when I buy them and they'll fit my torso, they'll come to about here on my wrist. And so, you know, when I bend my elbow, they would kind of be right where you would want them to be. But as soon as I'd straighten my arm out, it would go like that. And I hated it. I hated it so much because I just didn't like the cold and I didn't like the way it looked. So I'd buy these like extra large or extra large shirts and stuff to get the length that I needed, but the torso was just this big baggy thing, and the seam where the shoulder was, instead of it being right here, would be way down here on my arm. So I wanted to make my own clothes, and I bought a sewing machine, and I started taking clothing apart and figured out how it was put together and started drafting my own patterns from that. And then I was like, okay, I need more length on the sleeve, so I'll just make this a little longer, and I started doing that. And that's how it came about. Now, I did buy a couple store-bought patterns at a store, and they confused me, and I just couldn't do it. So I've always just reverse engineered stuff and then made my modifications and such. And that was it. Looked at how seams were constructed, and then started, you know, then I got a serger, and then I kept making a better, stronger seam, and then yeah, that was it. Palooza with China Maddie. I'm looking forward to visiting some of the places you share when I move back to Washington State from China. San Joseph Bay is at the top of my list. Thanks for sharing. Cool, man. Yeah, that place was pretty awesome. And you're in China, so I don't know where you are in China, but the country over there just looks amazing too. And I don't know how easy it is to travel around China. I've been there a couple times, but just stayovers and stuff would be a fun place to check out. You know, as long as it's easy to get around and stuff. Going back to racism, by the way, when I was in China, that was the first time I actually felt like, you know, like it dawned on me just how like how much I take it for granted that I live in Canada, and I was just like, okay, I'm a white male, and as a privileged white male living in Canada, and no one was racist towards me really when I was growing up, except for when I was in Quebec and stuff, and I spoke English. You know, a lot of Quebecois spoke French, so I got some flack for not being French, but I suppose there's a bit of racism there. But when I was in China a couple times, man, I was looked down upon just so much. I was a white guy, and they were just like, looked at me like I was just trash of the earth. It was really, really interesting, and nobody wanted to talk to you. It was a really interesting experience. That was in, forget where that was. Wasn't everywhere though. It was just some places. But it was humbling. It was humbling to be on the other side of that and go, wow, okay, this is what this must feel like, and it's not a nice feeling. Glenn Vanderberg, and sorry about that tangent, guys. I was talking about racism and stuff a little earlier, so I just kind of went back to that. Glenn Vanderberg, a Joseph and Foresty, Forest, Bushwhack, and Plants Mush Mountaintop trip together would be awesome content. Yeah, it'd be kind of fun. I haven't chatted with him for a while. We've exchanged a few messages back and forth, but that'd be kind of fun. I wonder if he'd be interested on a hunting trip. Man, that guy's like, he's always cooking up ribs and all kinds of stuff in his cooker and stuff. And I was like, man, dude, maybe you want to go hunting too. I don't know. Yeah. He might have a bunch of people on his channel that wouldn't be keen about that, but I don't know. Wild food, wild meat. The guy's in those areas anyway. Yeah. Stuart Prescott. Hey mate, your van looks great. Awesome cabinets and roof fan. It's 2 a.m. here in Australia. Just finished work. Thanks, man. Here's another view at it. That's how things are looking right now. I want to make new covers for my bed mattress and stuff, but yeah, it's looking pretty nice in here. And then the roof fan. And then this whole cabinet, right? That one's really nice. I'm gonna be doing a van tour here soon. There's one guy in my comments that's like, I think his name's Harry Potter. He's like, the only comment he leaves is like, come on, man, I want your van tour. I want your van tour, man. Hurry up, man. Really, another video? I want the van tour. If you're watching Harry Potter, it's coming around. And Chrome filmed a van tour of mine, so eventually he's going to be putting that out too. Hopefully it comes out at the same time I get mine out, though, because I'm going to do a better job. Yeah, anyway. Frederick Anderson, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Hit the thumbs up on the video, everyone. Yeah, you got that right. I think that helps the algorithm and stuff. So when you guys leave comments and you hit the thumbs up and you like the video and you watch it all the way through, that really helps me out with the YouTube recommending my video to others and stuff. But really what it comes down to is, like, I don't want to push any of that stuff onto you guys. It's just, if you enjoy the video and you really like it, like, yeah, I feel honored that you enjoy it and you're watching it. And that's how YouTube is sort of basing everything. It's like, if that video was really good and people really enjoyed it, then they're more likely to recommend it to other people on YouTube, and then the algorithm will take it off and go like that. Then I'll get more people looking at them, and the channel will grow, and I'll get closer and closer to doing this full time, which I'm just about there, which is really nice. I figure if I keep at this pace, in 2 months I could probably be doing this full time. Sharing the van life. You're asking, what size is your bed? Single or twin? I love the setup. What year's the van? Van's 2005. The bed size is 42 by 80 inches. 42 inches wide, 80 inches long. It's a bit of an unusual size. It's difficult to work with because I have to get a queen size mattress and cut it down to fit that. But that's the size of it. I wanted to go as wide as I could go, and I could have went with a 39, which would have been a twin, but it would also be, I think, 72 inches long, which is too short. I didn't want my feet hanging over the edge, so I want the long 80-inch mattress, same length as a twin. And sorry guys, I'm staring at my computer screen sometimes because that's where all the comments are, and then this is where the camera is. So, and I think Cabela's just opened up. They did. It's 9:01. A bunch of people pulled in, so that's where I'm heading, you guys. I'm sitting in front of the Cabela's parking lot. I'm enjoying this coffee that Kim got me. Kim is one of my subscribers and Patreon supporters, and she bought me a Tim Hortons coffee, so thanks again, Kim. And that's where I'm going. I'm going in there to look at some fishing gear. I'm trying to decide on a new fishing rod for saltwater, and I got this little setup that it's not really practical, so eventually I'll get a new rod and reel. And I don't want to spend a lot of money, but I want to get something that's pretty decent. So far I found one that's pretty good. It's $120 for a rod and reel at Canadian Tire, and that might be the one that I get. But if these guys have something else that speaks to me, then maybe I'll get something in here. Right now I'm just shopping and making a decision. I look at stuff when I go shopping, and I'm like, I want something new. I'll look at things and I'll research, and I'll spend a lot of time looking at all these different things before I ever come around to buying something. And then I'm like, this is what I want, and then I'll be like, okay, then I'll buy it. Then that whole endeavor is done and dealt with, and I don't ever think about it again. But anyway, that's how I go shopping for something like a fishing rod, or that kind of thing. Oh, okay. Drivers of Ottawa. What was the wing-shaped cutout in the passenger door for? So Drivers of Ottawa is talking about, I think he's going back a couple videos, but there's a panel here. I can't really open it up from the inside of my van. But there's a little wing thing cut out on this door panel that I made. Without showing you, it's just not the same, so hang on. Bare feet at Cabela's parking lot. This thing right here. That's my electric motor for the window, so it goes up and down. It stuck out and I didn't want the whole panel to be all the way out just for that one item, so I just cut a hole in it so that this whole thing sat a little closer to the door itself. And it's almost flush with this panel. That's it. And I'm gonna go back in here because it's a little breezy out there, and that's probably coming across in the mic. There we go. Whew. Anyway, that's what that little cutout was for. Drivers of Ottawa. Caravan Senior, ton of employed van dwellers here in the Okanagan. It's a popular lifestyle. Yes, it is. And I mean, you can have a full-time professional job living out of a van. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. It's perfectly fine. Shane, make me a moderator. You want to be a moderator, Shane? Here we go. You're now a moderator, Shane. There you go. Hopefully I won't. Don't make me regret that, Shane. I don't know you yet. Have I seen your comments before? I'm trying to remember. We'll see. Hopefully you're a good one. Let's see. Can't wait for you to crazy full. Can't wait for you to change your tires. Yeah, me too. I'm probably gonna do that in a month or so. I gotta get a few more dollars rolling in, and then I'll be able to get that taken care of. That's coming. George Hutchinson, thank you for the super sticker. Go, man. Looks like a little scuba guy. Got like a scuba mask on or something like that. Robert Phillips, hi Joseph, would you be interested in going fishing sometime? Perhaps, man. Yeah. You could send me an email, could look at it. Often though, I do like doing stuff on my own. I just find I get more in my element, and I can film more when I'm solo. And it's different when there's other people involved. But it's nice to share those experiences with people too. It's really nice, because then it's just, I don't know, it just adds a dimension of connection to it. That's really nice. Yeah, I'm gonna get you guys a little closer to the comments here. So now it looks like I'm looking at you more. Stuart Prescott, is this your first van? It is. I lived in a two-door Jeep Wrangler before this for a short period of time, but this is my first van. Yeah. Yeah. Mona Merritt, your laptop shows a great picture. Mine sucks, very grainy. Actually, my camera that I'm using is my phone, so yeah, my laptop camera also sucks. It's not a very good camera. I wish they made these cameras way better than they are, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off. I just wanted to say hi, and I was trying to edit a video for everyone last night, but I was just super tired. I just finished Nick's electrical late yesterday, and then I drove up to Chemainus where I spent the night, and I started working on a video, and I was just like, I don't want to do another all-nighter. So anyway, I figured I'd jump in here and do a live with you guys. And I got a lot of thoughts about what I want to do with the channel and what I want to share and stuff like that. So I'll be slowly rolling out some of that stuff as I'm able to, and continue to share some cool wild places and stuff like that. And I want to do a little bit more talks about van life and my van and some of the thought processes behind it. Any sort of things that might add value to any of you guys that are thinking about this sort of stuff yourself, or looking for ways to make improvements to your own setups if you're in van life. And then there's a whole side of this channel that I want to get into about also just like mental health stuff as well, and talk about some of that stuff, and just in a way that's sort of the background that I have with some of the counseling and stuff like that, and yoga and whatnot. And of course, sharing the wild. A lot of cool, fun outdoor stuff. I'd like to do some hunting videos and fishing videos and that sort of stuff as these seasons are becoming available. So anyway, guys, yeah, I'm gonna head into here to Cabela's, and then I've got to run up island and go take a look at this cabin electrical job and get started on that. So I love you, love all of you. Thank you so much for all the love, you guys. And guys, thanks for the super chat. Robert, if you're still watching, man, big thanks, man. That was a really nice super chat you gave me. I really appreciate that. And Hawaii sounds like a pretty sweet spot to go visit one day for sure. Anyway, you guys, take it easy. Much love.